Hello, how you doing? How you doing? I'm just checking Twitter actually here. This is the announcement today. You've all heard Blackpool Football Club can announce that Neil Critchley has today been relieved of his duties as head coach, and also the club can confirm that Richard Keogh will take charge of the side on an interim basis, starting with this weekend's trip to Cambridge United. And to be honest with you, I didn't think I'd be back so soon. It seems like only 2 days ago that I was talking about, my worries over Critch, really, to be honest. So hopefully you're all sort of in agreement with Simon Sadler. I liked Neil Critchley as a person. I did say on the last live stream that I went to the opening of the new signage behind the South Stand, and Neil Critchley was there with players from each of the 6 playoff winning teams, and he came on. He spoke really nicely. He seemed really enthusiastic. He was having a great night. He was laughing. He looked in a really happy place. And so I'm kind of sad, and I don't like to see people lose their jobs. But I think, as I've said, on the thumbnail, I'm sorry, Neil, but your time was up. Just looking at Twitter as well, it seems Ditsy Seaside Joe saying, happy birthday to me. Well done, Mr. Sadler, says Ollie C. I did not expect this today, says Lomi. Chris Harrison says it's the right decision. Wish him all the best, though, after what he's done for us in the past. Shame he couldn't recreate his first spell with us, but we move on now. Yeah, we do need to move on. So are you happy? Post the comments. Are you sad? Do you think we should have given him more time? I think he's had long enough, to be honest. And when he comes on saying that the team don't understand what he's wanting them to do, then what he's trying to do, I don't think we understand what he's trying to do either. So let's just have a look at the quick comments that I've got in here from you guys. WG fan says this was destined to happen. Damien said, Blackpool should have never appointed him the second time around. A huge mistake. Let's hope they get the decision right. Well, yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? After all the trouble with bringing Appleton back and all the fan, discontent over that, there was always, there was going to be a lot of people who were not happy that he walked away and left us in a mess, which ultimately really set a domino effect going, which actually, contributed to us getting relegated, and then to welcome him back after all he'd done to us. The club, it was a mistake, but they've got to get this one right. They've got to get this appointment right. What would you be saying on the interview process if you're interviewing a future manager? Would you be asking them questions like, are you the kind of manager that plays a left winger on the left wing and a right winger on the right wing and a left back at left back and a right back at right back, or an attacking right wing back or attacking left wing back in those positions? Do you play a right-footed centre half as a right-footed centre half and a left-footed centre half as a left-footed centre half? Are you that kind of manager, or do you move them all around and play them all in the wrong places like we just had? And also, you'd be asking him, do you like to create chances and let a team attack, the opposition and dominate games? Is that the way that you play? That's the kind of management style I would like to see. I'm sure you would like to see as well. David Weldon says, don't even think about it, Ryan Lowe. No, we don't want Ryan Lowe. That's absolutely for sure. Ian R says, here we go again. Eugene McGee says, hi, how am I doing? I'm a lot happier now. As you know, I wasn't very happy on Monday after Saturday. I was so disappointed with Saturday. I can't believe, as I said in the stream before, that we all saw the fixture list and we saw that the first 2 games were against teams that were newly promoted, and you're thinking we've got a chance. But then, going through pre-season, you couldn't help but notice that we weren't doing very well, especially the time where we played 2 League 2 teams on the same day, Tranmere Rovers, and I can't remember the other one, but, on aggregate, we lost 6-2. We lost both games. That was, warning signs were there. We did get a win away at Burton Albion. It was a good win, but we had the fortune of them being down to 10 men and tiring out at the end, so it wasn't exactly as good as it kind of looked on paper. But we did win away. But Saturday, losing 3-0 to Stockport in the way we did and playing 2 games in the league without one single shot on target, it was time to go. David Weldon says, maybe best we get someone in from outside. Hopefully Sadler will promise them a transfer kitty. Hopefully. Pathfinder says, surprised that Simon Sadler pulled the trigger so soon. Maybe he has someone in mind and doesn't want to lose out on his preferred target. Maybe. Let's hope he has. And let's hope he's somebody good. Cal, the Seasider. Hello, Cal. He says, Critch never got the fans back. It's time for Dobby. Is it time for Dobby for you, or would you like somebody a little bit more experienced? We don't want an old dinosaur like Mick McCarthy. We've learned our lessons on that one. We don't want, you know, former managers back. So no Holloway. Who else? Get people saying Gary Bowyer. I mean, Gary Bowyer, I actually spoke to him on the night he was there at the presentation night. I had a little chat with him, and he, you know, I kind of said to him, it was sad that he never really got to see, you know, the fans. But I think again, he'd be a manager that fans would say, you know, had worked under the Oysters. It would immediately be a bad decision, wouldn't it? You know, he was managing when we were all not going, not up anymore. So he came into the club at a time with the Oysters. Would we forgive him for that? Probably not. Do I think Charlie Adam will come? I know he wanted the job, but he's only just finding his feet at Fleetwood. I don't think it's a time for Charlie Adam yet. I think Charlie Adam may well become a future Blackpool manager, but doesn't always work, does it? Didn't work with Alan Ball. W&G fan says, I said this 18 months ago and I'll say it again now. Liam Richardson for Blackpool. Okay, yeah. He was doing well at Wigan, wasn't he? And then they potted him for some weird reason. So maybe, yeah, maybe that's Liam Richardson. Seaside and Mark says, well done, Sadler. Glad the cloud has been lifted and Clueless Critch has been sacked. Well, it kind of proves that, you know, people were saying Simon Sadler wouldn't, you know, loved him and wouldn't be able to see it. But I'm pretty sure he could see the problems just like we could. I mean, he's putting in 5 million of his own money every year. And he must have been disappointed last season when we missed out on the playoffs on the last day of the season through playing the same rubbish way that we played all the other times we'd lost away and lost the game when really everything went in our favour and we would have been in the playoffs if we'd have won at Reading. He also must have been noticing, you know, the way we played in pre-season. He'll be thinking, I'll give him a chance, see how it goes, give him a couple of games. If everything's right, he'll also know, you know, and then he'll have seen him obviously create 0 chances on goal at Bloomfield Road. He won't have been happy with that. It can't possibly have been. And, you know, he also knows that during the summer, with what they've done with the season ticket prices, they've lost thousands of season tickets. And the only way he's going to get the income into the club is if the football's that good that people start, you know, walking on and buying tickets for the day. That's the only way he's got, you know, he's going to get it up anywhere near the close to like nearly 10,000 season tickets that we had last season, which was amazing to say we got relegated. So he knows he's got to provide a brand of football that's going to put bums back on seats and make people want to come and watch, even if they haven't bought a season ticket. Because if he doesn't do that, he's only going to have the season ticket sales, and God knows what they are, because there was there'll only be about 8,500 Blackpool fans, wasn't it, on Saturday, and 2,000 of those might have been walk-ons as well. So he's probably only got about 6,500 season ticket holders. And if nobody's walking on, the football's terrible, he's only got 6,500 gates, and that's going to cost him a fortune. Steve Huntley says, hi Lee, how are you? I am feeling rather chipper today, Steve, with the news that Simon Sadler has, you know, ended NEIL CRITCHLEY's tenure at Blackpool. Kieran Bain says, hi Kieran. Steve Huntley says it's about time. He should have gone at the end of last season. Yeah, probably should have done, really. I mean, it's not been a popular management decision again, has it? Fans, you know, there was the fist pumping that just annoyed some people. I've said it before, I like NEIL CRITCHLEY as a person. And I liked him the first time round. And I liked what he did. I liked the atmosphere and the way it was that first year back in the Championship. It was a fantastic season. We did amazing. It all fell apart at the end, but we did amazing. I went to some amazing away games with some amazing atmospheres, and we've lost all of that. And you only have to watch, I don't know if you've seen it, but Fusion Josh came to Blackpool on Saturday to watch the game. He sat in the North Stand and he was like blown away with the noise in the North Stand for the first 20 minutes. He'd never heard anything like it. And that isn't even us at our best, is it? On Saturday, we weren't at our best. And he was saying at the end of the video that he didn't blame the fans for walking out, that Blackpool were going to have a really tough season. He couldn't, you know, he just couldn't see. He was shocked at how bad we were. And that was just, you know, that's just Fusion Josh. He's a Cambridge fan. He couldn't believe how bad Blackpool were. Jake Kinsella says that he wasn't good enough. I agree with you. He wasn't. David Ledbetter says Sadler hasn't even got a business now, so he will not be spending any more money in spite of claiming his innocence of the charges against him. Well, he certainly is in a bit of trouble. I don't know. I don't know anything about how he's going on over there, to be honest, and it's not something I really want to talk about. Really, I'm more about. I more want to talk about, you know, who do you want in? Are you happy that Critch's gone? What brand of football would you like to see? Would you like to see a manager that plays a 4-3-3 or, you know, 4-4-2? Do you think a manager playing a 3-5-2 can do better than Critch did? Will Jordan Gabriel now start in as right back, as he should do? Really, is our best right back? I mean, I like it when we have overlapping both sides going down. So, you know, like CJ Hamilton, say, for instance, he gets a lot of stick, but he's a left winger playing right wing back. So he's playing a right wing back. So he's going bombing up. You see him sometimes crossing a ball in, and then 2 seconds later, he's managed to get all the way back to head a ball off the line in defence. And that's not the best use of CJ Hamilton, is it? You know, he's running up and down the pitch. If he was just playing on the left and playing as a winger, he wouldn't be doing all the tracking back. He'd probably be a more effective winger. Who knows? We've not seen him play in that way. I would like to see him play as a dedicated winger, and I like to see players playing in the right positions. And the thing is, if you sign a left back and he's been playing left back all his career, you don't really need to train him how to be a left back. He knows how to be a left back. He's a left back, and if he's a right back, that player knows how to be a right back, and he doesn't really need. I mean, obviously, coach him better, you know, tell him some plans you have and maybe how he fits in the system. But at the end of the day, a right back knows how to play as a right back, doesn't he? He's played it all his life. It's midfield, you know, whichever position you're in, you need to be in the position that you're comfortable in. Stephen Worley says, "Hi Lee, hope you're all right. Hope to see you at the Lincoln game in the South Stand coming up from Coventry." Yes, I'll be there. Have I any ideas? No, I have no ideas whatsoever, you know, who is coming in. I don't even know if the club know yet. Pathfinder says that Charlie Adam has done a decent job at Fleetwood. Yeah, but only he's not been there very long, has he? So he didn't save him. He did okay. He nearly did, but he didn't manage to save him. Has he enough experience for the Blackpool job? No. Ryan Lowell, no. That would go down like a lead balloon. If Simon Sadler, well, he's not going to. He knows if he appointed Ryan Lowe, they'd be hell to play. Yes, Richard Keogh will be the interim manager. Daz BFC1 says it feels like Christmas. Maybe we will see a shot on target a week on Saturday. Yeah, maybe we will. Peter Donnelly, hello, Peter. Slot Car Pete, he says, good afternoon, Lee. Hello, Peter. Paul Fishwick says Richie Wellens. He's a name that's often mentioned. He did do a job on us last season, didn't he? I don't know whether that's one that I'm really, really keen about. Yes, Neil Critchley has been sacked. It is unbelievable. It isn't really unbelievable. If you're a Blackpool fan, it's definitely not unbelievable. It's been terrible. Keegan Parker's here. Hello. Keegan Parker, Derek McInnes. That tells more about him, Keegan. I don't know him, but anyway, I don't know him. Who's he manager of? Let me know. Be somewhere up in Scotland, I take it. What kind of football does he play, Keegan? And when are you coming down to watch a match with me, Keegan? That's the other thing I need to know as well. Now you're back from your holiday, right? Or are you still on holiday? Gary Bowyer, I don't know. As I say, he's manager in the boycott, and they're not. He won't be popular, even though he did a fantastic job. What's this? Russ Abbott. Russ Abbott saying, "Oh, what an atmosphere of a party with a happy." Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow. But not Dobby for you. Not Dobby for you. Okay. I mean, he played. You know, we played all right under Dobby, didn't we? I mean, he nearly saved us. I think if Dobby had had about 4 or 5 more games, I think he would have saved us last season. Carl, come on. Parr says anyone who gets fans off their seats. Wouldn't that be great? But we need a system of play that gets us out of our seats. We were not out of our seats on Saturday at all. Pick a name. Who do I want? I don't really know who I want, to be honest. I have heard, there's been a few suggestions like Barry, what's he called? The guy that managed Rochdale. He sounds quite interesting. Somebody just mentioned Liam Richardson. It's just who's available, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's who's available. I mean, I think, the Nobbers have got a decent manager there, and the guy that managed Sheffield United and got them up into the Premier League. So he knows what he's doing. So that's not a bad appointment. I think we're a better team. I think we've got better players than what we saw on Saturday. And I don't think Critch was playing them in the right position. I don't want a dinosaur of a manager like Mick McCarthy. I want a manager that really plays the kind of attacking, attractive football that we want to see. And I don't know who that is. Because if they're all playing this stupid passing around the back and passing across your penalty area and all, I hate all that. I hate it. Paul Sylvester says that these days clubs know who they want to replace with before they dismiss. Let's hope we've got somebody in mind. David Stevens says, marvellous. I don't think I could take any more for one. Sadler's done the right thing and got rid of him. Couldn't take any more of the crap football he made the club play. Hopefully we can get a decent manager and fans come back. And Chris seemed confused that the players didn't seem to know what he wanted them to do or how he wanted them to play. Willow, who's not a Blackpool fan, says he thinks that this season is Blackpool's year to get promoted. Well, maybe. There's a long way to go. At least he's got rid of him early, and we've got a whole season really ahead of us to do something, haven't we? Pathfinder says, get David Moyes in. Only 20 minutes from his home. Oh, David Moyes, come and manage Blackpool. I think we're dreaming there. I mean, how much money has he been? How much money has he been on at West Ham? What would we offer him that could possibly entice him to come to manage Blackpool? Finley McCalman says, I'd love to see us play 4-4-2. And I'm sure the players will too. Playing wing backs didn't work. No, it didn't, did it? Doesn't work. Play players in the right positions. Play a right back as a right back and a left back as a left back. Right winger as a right winger. Left winger as a left winger. I think that's the best way to play. Get players in the correct positions. Or if we're going to play a 3 at the back, 3-5, get players in that are experts at being wing backs, left or right. If that's the way you want to play, don't try and make a left winger a right wing back, and then come on the radio after and say, I can't understand why they don't know what I want them to do. Because they don't know. Stephen Ward says, half the job done, Sadler. Bring in a decent manager and players that can play. Well, I think we have got players that can play. I just think they couldn't play in that system and they didn't like that system. The only worry I have is that Critch has brought some players in that he wanted to play in that system. And now a new manager is going to come in and he ain't going to want to play in that system. And some of these players will have come because of Critch. You know, but hopefully they all buy into the new manager. Ryan Dunbar says, my only issue with Keogh as interim is like every other assistant that took over as an interim, nothing will change under Keogh, mark my words. Well, he's only interim. He's not going to get the job full time. W&G says, to Kieran Bates, it's not looking well for Ipswich. It's a big leap up, but if they don't go daft and spend lots of money, they'll come down with a trunk full of gold, won't they? Money to spend, money to spend, and make themselves even more powerful next season. It's not really about if you stay in the Premier League. It's what you do with the money and how much you spend when you're in there to try and stay in there. And I don't think you should spend a lot of money to try and stay in there. I think you should take as much money as you can and build, and strengthen in the Championship, like Burnley are doing. You need to be as tight as Burnley, really. Oh yeah. Vincent Company should leave Bayern Munich for Blackpool. I think you should just delete yourself for that, Willow. Actually, just ban yourself from posting anymore. Clayton Short says our issue now is that much of the squad is geared towards playing NEIL. Well, they are, but they can't play it. He's already said his interview, the players don't understand what I want them to do. We want to revert to a back four, but lack the depth to do it. At right back, if Gabriel is off, he's not off yet. He may stay now with Critch going. Big last week of the window ahead. Yeah. Well, we need to get a manager in quick, don't we? Who can maybe get a couple of players in that we need. Stephen Woolley says, hope we get a manager that plays attacking and entertaining football. And if it does not work, change the system. Well, I'd like to see a manager, to be honest, that reads the game, join the game as well. So rather than the Critch model, which is just basically replace a right back for a right back and replace a midfielder for a midfielder and a centre half for a centre half and just carry on playing the same way, but with just different names slotted in. I'd like to see a manager who can see the problem and think, right, CJ isn't getting any joy with that. The left back there, so let's move him onto the left and let him try against the right, or bring something on that maybe one of our players is struggling in a position and change the system so that they're not. But see it in the game. See what you need to change in the game. That's what a good manager is. Somebody who can turn it around and turn a 1-0 round and make it a 2-1 win by bringing on substitutions that change the way we play, not just slot in and play exactly the same way as we've been playing. And that's really, for me, is the kind of manager that I want to see. So, somebody who can read the game well and see where the problems are and know how to fix the problems in the moment. Kieran Baines, in answer to that, so talking about Ipswich, of course. I mean, Ipswich only just got Man City next Saturday in Liverpool. I wasn't expecting anything yet. Yeah, you have to win against Fulham. Yeah, you have to beat the teams that you've got a chance against. But it is hard in the Premier. It's not really fun in the Premier League. It's not great fun. It's just good if you can get the money. The Championship is the best division to be in my opinion. Championship football is where I wanted to be, and I was perfectly happy in the Championship. I think it's the best league. I think the Premier League's just, it's too powerful at the top for it to be a competitive league, and you really only want to go in it to get some money to strengthen you, and then you can be a good, strong team in the Championship. Big Sam. Well, that's just, once again, it's bringing back a former manager, even though, we loved Big Sam, didn't we? Would it fill the, I don't know. We need a sugar daddy. I think Sadler needs a sugar. Sadler needs, I said it before, he kind of needs to do, the Oysters were clever, really, weren't they? They brought Bellicon in and he changed everything, and he brought the money in for the team. And I think Sadler needs that extra investor who can invest in the team while he concentrates on doing the stand, which hopefully we will see something happening in that direction soon. I don't know, Steve. I don't know really if there's any truth in the rumor. I don't know. I've heard the rumors as well, but I don't know if there's any truth in it. And rumors are rumors. Yeah, it was a shame that Preston appointed Hickenbottom before our vacancy came up. He will do good at North End. Dobby and Keogh for me. Yeah, I think he will as well. He's a good manager, isn't he? But whether he would have wanted to drop down to League One, this is the problem. You know, we're in League One. We're actually bottom of the league in League One, so that's hard. I mean, that's probably why he's done it so quickly, because you know it's very early days, and you can actually get away with being bottom of the league. But if you leave it, you know, the longer you leave it, and the longer, you know, Critch doesn't have any shots on target, if that was going to carry on, the more we're at the bottom of the league, the less you're going to get somebody wanting to come in. Can see it now. Steve, Red Bull, Blackpool. Steve who? Steve. I don't know who you mean by Steve. Or who Steve Red Bull is. Big Sam might be a bit over the hill, but Blackpool have employed worse. Could Big Sam be about to don the Blackpool FC jacket again? I don't think so. I don't think we're going for an old manager. Mohammed said Uncle Nobed gone happy days. Oh, here we go. More about this American consultant. Peter Donnelly says maybe the Americans. Do you know something we don't know, Peter? Maybe the Americans want to Critch out and want someone specific before buying. Blimey, there's a lot of presumptions in there, Peter. Bloody hell. Carl the Seasider says, pay Liam Rossinia and get him in. If not, I'll do it for 10 pints every Saturday. Okay. Actually, I suggest you put your CV in. Then I'm sure Simon Sadler might be interested in just only paying you 10 pints a week to manage Blackpool. He'd be quids in, wouldn't he? He'd recoup some of his £5 million he's putting in every year, allegedly. Hiya, Gary Cronshaw. Kieran Bain says, I can see Blackburn Rovers I can see Blackpool beating Blackburn Rovers in the cup and build your season from then. Well, it's going to be more interesting now. I was fearing it. I might actually go now to that game. I don't know, because they never win when I go to Blackburn Rovers. They never win. I've seen them draw. The club have already squashed the rumour about Ryan Lowe. That is good. City's reserve manager, yeah, that's Brian. What's he called? Brian. Somebody remind me. Barry Bryan. What's his? Oh God, I'll find it in a minute. I can't remember what it's called. Let's have a look. It's on. Let's get his name right. He was the manager of Oldham, wasn't he? Brian Barry Murphy. That's it. Brian Barry Murphy, who was manager of Oldham. This, you know, there was a post on AVFTT about him. Oh, so he manages Killy. Okay. Ryan Dunbar's up for that. I don't know much about him. Tell me about him. Either Keegan or Ryan, tell me what sort of football he plays, because I don't know him. Gary Rowett. Yeah, Derek McKinnis. Yeah, Derek McKinnis. What kind of football does he play? Pathfinder says, Gary Bowyer, he never sends me to sleep. I've got to be honest. I think he talks a lot of sense. Sends people to sleep already, Lancashire. Cannot see him having a big enough personality to take the Blackpool job again. Employing a previous manager has not worked so far. I think that's what we want to avoid, in it, a previous manager, and especially one who managed during the lockdown, during Not a Penny More. It won't go down well. Right, Trunky123, a Luton fan here. You don't want a journeyman manager on the management merry-go-round. Time to take a gamble on a good young prospect. Yes, indeed. We don't really want a journeyman manager. Agree with you on that one. Philly McCammell says that Gary Rowett would also be suitable. Would he? I don't know much about Gary Rowett. I can't. Who did he manage? You have to tell me. Rangers 123 says Mick McCarthy until the end of the season. Oh God, no. Yeah, it's the Kilmarnock manager. Yeah, I've got that, Ryan. Yeah, but I don't know much about Kilmarnock. I couldn't tell you. Are they any good? I don't watch Scottish football, so I've no idea. And what sort of football does he play? Jay has come on. It's time for clubs to finally try new coaches. Well, we did. We did with Critch, and then he left us. And then he came back as a, I don't know, as if he wasn't the same man. Maybe the aliens had taken him up and replaced him with a replacement because he wasn't the same Critch we had the first time. The LMA manager roundabout never succeeds for most clubs. No, it doesn't. Ever would he want to come from Bolton now? And was he good enough? I mean, the Bolton fans are not liking him. He didn't get them up, did he? He failed at Wembley. In fact, they played terrible Bolton at Wembley, didn't they? Yeah, that's another. Is he still with us? I was thinking that before. Dom Thompson, is he still with us? I mean, he is a player with pace. I know the fans don't like him, but I actually think he's all right, Dom Thompson. And like I say, he's a left back. For play a proper left back and a left winger, he'd play a lot better. In fact, if CJ was on the left, Dom Thompson would do a lot better with having CJ in front of him, wouldn't he? Because CJ tracks back. He wouldn't have as much pressure on him. Jamie Widdop, hello, Jamie, says we need to take our time and make sure we get the right man. No ex-managers, please. Yes, please, Simon. Surely Simon has learned his lesson. He must have listened to the criticism over, Appleton and then over Critchley. So please, Simon, if you're listening, if you're watching, please don't bring somebody back that's just going to split the fans again. We want somebody we can all get behind, but it's not going to be easy unless something is already in place. And the Americans are insisting on a certain this American consortium that's taken us over. Tomo was the next manager. Yeah, well, or even come back as an assistant. Josie Smith says get Keegan Parker involved in the management setup. Would he want it? He's still playing his old Keegan up there, and he's still actually playing football. David Weldon says, I agree with you, Lee, that Charlie Adam may be one for the future. Hopefully he will not be needed too soon. Coolio guy plays says Fletcher hasn't done well, in my opinion. No, he's not been great so far, but he wasn't prolific, was he? He wasn't prolific. Michael Reed says, no, Neil, thank God. Come on, Richard, mate. Get us up, lad. I believe in him. We believe it. How do you believe in Richard Keogh is going to be a better manager than Neil Critchley? I mean, he's just come in as an assistant manager, but he's never done it before. I can't say I'm not that confident. He might do, but what makes you confident and what makes you believe in him? I mean, I like him. Don't get me wrong. I liked him as a player. I thought he was great, but what about you? What about Richard Keogh makes you believe in him? Tomo, another shout for Tomo. Then somebody says, no, not Steve Thompson. He's not a number one. Trevor Francis is here. I mean, that's a blast from the past, Trevor. Rowett is an awful manager. Drew his way to relegation with us last season. Avoid him at all costs. Right, there we are. So that's put that one to bed. Gary Rowe, there you are. You've heard it from Trevor Francis. No. If it's the real Trevor, I wonder if it's the actual Trevor. Yeah, I got Keogh. I get Keogh as interim, but when assistants take over as interim, they tend to keep things the same. So it's as normal for the players after a managerial departure. Maybe. Although Dobby didn't do that, did he? Depends on what you want for the long-term plan, says Shane Benjamin. Brian Barry Murphy, odds look good. Jay has put a few in the hat there, thrown a few hats in the ring. The Cowley brothers, Charlie Adam, Gary Taylor Fletcher. Is he managing anywhere, Gary Taylor Fletcher? I did love Gary Taylor Fletcher, I've got to say. Oh, Oh, well, this is news to me. Joseph Smith, GTF hinted this morning about wanting to get involved in the setup. Gary Taylor Fletcher back. Would you like that? Trevor Francis says, backing up his previous statement, I wouldn't wish Gary Rowett on my worst enemy. So no to Gary Rowett. No, no, and double no. Seaside of Mark. So as I travelled to Crawley for the game, we looked like a team of strangers who were full of fear, too scared to make a decision. The team didn't have any leaders or steel in the side. Awful football. Well, it wasn't much better at Bloomfield Road on Saturday against Stockport, I can assure you. It was terrible. Trevor Francis says Big Sam is the perfect match. Yeah, but he's a previous manager. And he plays that sort of... He plays... from what I can remember of like Sam, he's very much on set pieces and winning games on that, isn't he? And stats, and we're no good at set pieces. We're garbage. If we're going to have a manager that's going to think he can win a game by free kicks and corners from Blackpool, he's got no hope. Joseph Smith says fair play to Sadler. Yes, yes. The point I was trying to make, Ryan, is that they brought in somebody who actually invested in the team and got us into the Premier League. And if you didn't see that, then where were you? That's what they did. They did. They brought Valeri Belakon in and he put the money in. They got some mug to come in basically, and then obviously fleet him at the end. But they did that. They were never going to spend their own money, were they, on anything? And I often feel with like Simon Sadler, it's like he's spending his own money. I get it. He's a bit cautious with his money. He never really, it's like the Oysters. They never really splashed the cash, did they, on anybody? And I think, if he feels the same with Simon Sadler, where he doesn't really push the boat out, but Valeri Belakon did, didn't he? He came in, he came in with all that ambition, didn't he? And the Oysters brought him in. I hate the Oysters. I don't like the Oysters, but they did bring him in. And I liked Valeri Belakon. I liked it when he come in and said, I'm going to get you in the Premier League in 5 years, and did it in 4. I like that. He got the South Stand finished. No Carl Oysters saying, oh, well, when we pre-let it, it's all pre-let. We won't build it till then. We're only locking out 50. No, they did well there. It doesn't matter whether you like them or you don't like them. They did well there. What about a Keogh Rhodes management combo? Yeah, I don't think either of them are ready for that role yet, really. Trevor Francis has changed the back three into a back four pronto. Well, we have been praying for it. Now, Guy Cronshaw will be going to Blackburn Rovers. The tickets are only 15 quid for Rovers fans. Ryan Dunbar says, Stephen Huntley said about an American consortium, and I replied, oh, right, okay. Get it, sorry. Just over my head, sorry, Ryan. Michael Reed is just happy he won't be bored throughout the whole season now. I think many fans are hoping and praying that we're not going to see that same football that we've seen for over a season, really, haven't we? It's timid, terrifying. We go away to teams in League Two when we come down from the Championship, going there like we're playing Real Madrid or Manchester United, terrified of teams like Burton, and just, it was embarrassing last season. What about Andy Priest? I don't know how well is he doing at Chorley, Trevor. I don't know. Used to like Andy Priest when he was here as a player. I'm liking that. Your name's great. Stephen Dobby, natural born alpha, a leader of men. Oh, Ryan Dunbar is now actually going to go to Burton at home after saying he was just going to spend the day doing Blackpool things, rather coming to Blackpool but not going to the match. NANA, hello, says that probably for the best he's gone. No way I expected it this soon. Who do you want, Lee? It's not particularly who I want. I just want somebody who can deliver us, entertaining football. I want to see somebody who's prepared to have a go, you know, who wants the team to attack, who wants to create loads of chances, whether you win or lose. You know what I mean? I don't mind watching a game where we hit the post 5 times and the goalie pulls off wonder saves, they kick off the line and we're just all over them and we lose. I'd rather see that kind of football, even if we lose playing that kind of football, than what we saw on Saturday, losing 3-0 to Stockport, never having one single shot on target. I just can't watch that. I was saying to somebody, I've done this thing, bringing former players in and bought another season ticket. I was starting to wish I hadn't. I'm thinking I should have just had a year off. George BFC thinks it was a bit early to sack Critch, but you could see that the fans had turned on him. He had it coming. Yeah, he did. He did. Once the fans turn, it's difficult. It's very difficult. I don't even know if I want to put that in, Paul. Probably get some stick for this, but I think Logan did a job for us. Right, we'll move on from that. No, Chris is very poor and out of his depth. Crazy football vlogs. You can find him on YouTube. His football vlogs are crazy. I think it's the right time to sack Critchley. We didn't want to get into deep trouble. We need a new manager that plays exciting football and that gets fans up out of the seats. Get behind them. Jurgen Klopp. That is a great shout. Great shout, Ryan. I'm sure Sadler will be on the phone to him this morning, actually. Hello, Jurgen. How do you fancy coming to watch Blackpool? It's not too far away from Liverpool. Jake Tong, he's gone, Lee. Surprised it's happened just to Jake. He is, he was with the Stacey West podcast, the Lincoln City fan. He's gone, Lee. Surprised it's happened, but like I tweeted, I really do wonder what chance it gives your next head coach. For me, you're almost setting up to fail. If I was Blackpool, I would go and get Barry Murphy, young progressive coach with a good brand of football. If you can look past his time at Rochdale, I think you'd be happy. He'd definitely get the best out of Rob Apter. Now, this is Jake Tong, who did come on my channel, and we had a chat with him, and he thought that Michael Appleton was the man. And when I met you, Jake, in Lincoln in the summer, you were telling me that Appleton would be a good fit for Blackpool. So I don't know whether I trust you, Jake, to be honest, or whether you're just winding me up, but there has been call for Barry Murphy already. I'd like to see Dobby be given the assistant manager's position or a first team coaching role. Right, he's very attack-minded. That sounds like our kind of manager, Derek McInnes. He is very good working with a tight budget, took Killy into Europe. Wow, so I think he'd be a great signing. Yeah. You never know, though, do you, with like Scottish manager? But having said that, Manchester United brought Alex Ferguson down, didn't they? From Scotland, maybe. I'm liking the sound of this guy more and more. And if Keegan Parker likes him, then he's got to be good. Right, back to the comments. There's quite a lot coming in. Pathfinder says, thanks for putting this on, Lee. Thumbs up for the video. Yeah, give the video a like. And also, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 8,000. It's like it's the mountain I can't climb. I'll never get there. The goal's 10. But 8's like the dream's 10, but 8, I'd love to get to 8. Liam Richardson, yes, we've had that one. Yes, Liam Richardson. He was doing well with Wigan. They potted him. Nobody knows why. There we are. Christian Wilson said, I love the interview with Eamon. Still starstruck. Yes, wasn't it good? If you haven't seen it yet, there is the full interview now with Eamon O'Keefe, who was my guest on Saturday. I got to say some stuff that I'd never heard before, so it's interesting. Rangers 123 says, of course, Michael Appleton. Yes, that would be brilliant, wouldn't it? We'd all love that. Ryan Dunmore says McInnes plays either a 4-4-2 or 4-3-3, wing play, but definitely attacking. That's what he sounds great. Andy DeVitt says, Neil, nice guy, bit awful system. New manager will have some pretty average players to deal with. No attacking players, zero threat. Do you think that's the players or do you think that's the system? I actually think we've got some decent players. I just didn't think they were played in the right positions. I didn't think they liked the system. They didn't seem to thrive on it. I'm pleased he's gone. It was his time. Any chance? I'm saying nothing. Cool. Of course, Brett's going to come and join me. Brett's already a done deal, so Brett will be coming on a video with me. I didn't want to tell you too soon, but yeah, Brett is all lined up. Rowett did a decent job at Birmingham last season in the short term he had, though. Says some people say no to Gary, some people say yes. Right. Well, Steve Willis, Dave Bamber's manager, he could teach the team where the goal is. But what was the video I did where Dave Bamber was there as a guest, and he they were talking about his time, and he was saying that he can't remember what, he's through all the balls he's headed. His memory's not very good. He can't even remember what he did last Tuesday. So I'm not sure Dave Bamber will be up for being a manager, really. It's already been quashed, Peter. It's not going to happen. Ryan Lowe is favourite on some wherever they get the things from, but it's only because he's recently been sacked and he's close by. But no, it's not going to be Ryan Lowe. You can rest assured on that. The club have already said it's not going to be Stevie G. Stevie G. Is he the man to blame, though, for our downfall? Stevie Gerrard. Yeah, but he wouldn't stay long, would he? If he did well, he'd be off. That's the only trouble with Stevie Gerrard, wouldn't he? It'd just be a stepping stone. Ollie Wrigley said, I love the away day on Saturday. It was a proper good day for me and my little brother as our first travelling solo. You look like you're missing maybe a midfielder and a wide attacker. Yeah, indeed. And yeah, indeed. Yeah, I'm sure you did have a great day. Not too far to travel either, and coming to Blackpool on a sunny day and having a 3-0 away defeat. Don't get better than that. And you deserved it. You were the better team. You deserved it. Finley McCalman says Chris Hughton is available and had promotions with Newcastle, Norwich and Brighton. Getting on a bit at 65, but good. They hated him at Forest, though. They hated him there. He really did. Has he lost his mojo? Is he another one of these managers like Mick McCarthy that's just gone off the boil now? He was great at one time, wasn't he? Definitely don't want the Cowley brothers. If you thought Critchley's football is boring, believe me, he's not on Cowley's level. Oh, God, Lincoln City loved him. Always sets his sides up to combat the opposites. Oh, no, we don't want him. No, we don't want anybody like that. I like a manager that plays great football and let the opposition worry about us. Let them worry about trying to contain us. That's you want people coming to Bloomfield Road with fear because we're that good. And anybody seeing the way that Blackpool played on Saturday against Stockport will not be coming to Blackpool with fear. NANA says, I hope whoever they get in, it's on no more than a 2-year contract. Otherwise, they could have to give them a big payoff again. All our managers in the last 10 years have lasted an average of a year or less. Tony Green is looking for a part-time job. Oh, bless. Yeah, wouldn't Tony Green. Tangerine Tom is also another one for Brian, Barry Murphy or Scott Lindsay. Look like they could be good appointments, but I can't imagine Lindsay leaving Crawley. No, well, why not? Why wouldn't he? Well, he'd have to move up north, but Blackpool are a bigger club than Crawley. There's no comparison, is there really? It would be a step up, to leave Crawley for Blackpool. Richard Keogh was decent at Ipswich, but I wouldn't put my money on him. If you want promotion, need a young, experienced manager that can build a squad. Like a head coach from the Premier League. I know, but yeah. We're not going to get a head coach from the Premier League coming to manage Blackpool, are we, in League One? We do indeed. We do, Steve. We need an Ollie-style manager who will attack and have the team playing exciting football. Yeah, and inspire men to be greater than the sum of the parts, which is what Ollie did. He made them believe in themselves, didn't he? He created a great team spirit, which took us up, and that's what I want to see. I want to see players dying for the cause with it, with the spirit and a will to win games, which we didn't see on Saturday. Andy DeVitt says, yes, Lee, you're right. Bellicon was the reason we got the Oysons out. He took Oysons to court and sued. Yes, he was the reason we got the Oysons out at the end of the day because they messed him about, but he was also the reason we got up into the Premier League. It was never the Oysons that got us in the Premier League. Valerie Bellicon got us in the Premier League, and it was his mission. He came in with a mission, which was my complaint about what Ben Mansford said to Jane and I, where His ambition last season, well, 2 seasons ago, was to finish 1 place above relegation. And if that's the way the club are setting themselves up, that's where you're going to finish. You know what I mean? Ollie came in and said, you know, there's 5 million on the table for you lads. No bonuses for playing this year. If you don't take that, we will give you a share of £5 million if we get in the Premier League. And he sold it. He sold it to them, a team that were not, you know, were favourites to go down. That's the kind of inspiration that you need. Dave Nash says, I think it was a massive mistake bringing him back. I think lots of people also think that as well. Once they leave, though, it's their choice. In my opinion, should never be asked back. Give it to Dobby. And again, it's still saying, well, I really wasn't talking about Bellicon, you know, suing the Oysters. That wasn't the point I was making. It was the ambition of Valerie Bellicon coming in and saying, I'm going to get you in the Premier League in 5 years. And he did what he said, didn't he? He brought players in, you know, he brought David Vaughan in, he brought Charlie Adam in. He paid for those out of his own money, you know, to get those players in. And he brought Kasper's Gorks, of course, didn't he? Which, you know, I thought we were going to get like a steady stream of Latvian, you know, internationals coming through the connection with Bellicon. That was the most disappointing thing, especially after Kasper's Gorks was so good. And every time we went out to Latvia, they beat us. So there must have been some players out there that were worth bringing over. Gary Cronshaw says, get David Moyes, I think, manager. Get David Moyes. I don't think he'd want to come here, Gary. Especially after all the stick. After all the stick the South Stand used to give him when he was sat in the South Stand. Oh my God. Do any of you remember that? By the time he was scouting, he came and sat in the South Stand, and Blackpool fans realised it was David Moyes, and oh my God, he got dogs abuse. Oh, Jesus. I remember that so well. Anybody else remember that? Right. David Nash says, Kevin Nolan, ex-Bolton midfielder, left West Ham, would be a fit. Bit outside of the box, thinking maybe this is needed. Maybe. David Wilson agrees with me. Yeah, Championship is our best league in the world. It is. It is the best league. It's the one that throws up the most surprises. It's the one that's, you know, you can get out of it. You're up against it, but you can with imagination. Dave Nash says, Charlie Adam, question mark. I think Charlie, I think I've said this earlier on in the stream, actually, David, that I think Charlie is a future Blackpool manager probably, but I think he needs to learn his, you know, he needs to prove how good he is. And, you know, he's done a decent job at Fleetwood. I mean, he didn't save him, but he did turn it all around. He had some bad ones in there as well. Fleetwood were really giving him some stick at one time. They really were. They weren't happy with him. So I don't think he's ready yet, but in the future, I probably would like to see Charlie as a Blackpool manager. Peter Heat says that Brian Barry Murphy is ex-P&E. Is he? I didn't know he was. Yeah, ex-Nobber. Well, maybe that's not going to go down well then. So we can rule him out then. Blue Terrace says Adi Vivash would be a good outside appointment. Mark Robbins, assistant at Coventry. Oh, he's Mark Robbins' assistant at Coventry up until the end of last season. Won every trophy possible with Chelsea under 21s. Adi Vivash. Anybody know it? I don't know him, but yeah, interesting that one. That's definitely from left field, Blue Terrier. Pathfinder says, amazing. Alan Kirbishley isn't in the running. Usually his name is mentioned for all management vacancies, even though he hasn't managed for 16 years. What about Mark Hughes? Yeah, bloody hell. Ryan Dunmas says, another Scottish manager that I like to watch is Stephen Robinson, done well with Motherwell. Currently doing very well with St Mirren. Took St Mirren from mid-table obscurity into 4th place and Europe. would he want to come to Blackpool then if he's in that position? Steven Gerrard or Michael Beale, strong, blue nose, tangerine. No from me. Right, okay. Have I thought about getting Steve McMahon? Yeah, I hadn't actually, but that'd be good on that one. It's Steve McMahon. He's terrifying. He's terrifying, that Steve McMahon. I think he still lives in Southport. He don't live too far away, but yeah, bloody hell. I'd have to be on my best behaviour with Steve McMahon, wouldn't I? I like Steve McMahon, actually. I liked him. Elaine Wheatley says that Dave Bamber is too busy playing golf in Tenerife. Steve and Gerrard will bring Critchley back as number 2. Oh my God, that would be great, wouldn't it? Steve and Gerrard with Critch as number 2. Oh God, bloody hell. Andy Divitt says husband was suspect on Saturday, too slow, no threat coming from midfield. Carey not good enough as our attacking midfielder. Well, that's the problem. Carey's been in the midfield now for the last three seasons, hasn't he? We got relegated from the Championship. We didn't, we failed to get back up into the Championship, and we weren't very good on Saturday. So I always think that Carey needs a really good. Carey, to me, needs a good ball-winning midfielder with him. He could do it like a Keith Southern type, couldn't he? And he won the ball for him. Gareth Southgate, please. I'm glad you put an LOL after that. Jesus, please, no. I suffered it up in the summer. Well, Big Sam again. Steve McMahon's Tangerine Army. Well, it was great, wasn't it? Those were the days. Get Ollie back, yeah. Ollie'd be great, wouldn't he? But he divides. He divides the fans, I think if I asked Ian Holloway to come in and I got him, there'd be so many fans saying he's an Oyston lover, he's this, he said all this about Oyston. It just wouldn't do me any good. It wouldn't be good. Even though I loved Holloway. Andy Morrell. Well, could be an interesting one to watch a match with. Yes, he would. I actually asked him because I've had him on. We've had him on, haven't we? He was actually at the ground on last Friday when we went to see the revealing of the new signage behind the South Stand. He was there, and I was talking to him. But he was saying, he's at Wrexham. He's busy at Wrexham. He said he would struggle to find, a time to come when Wrexham aren't playing. But yeah, he would be great. He's brilliant, Andy Morrell, as well. Kieran Bain says, a bit like McKenna was Man United head coach and K2 Ipswich when we were League One this time. I've forgotten, Kieran, where the conversation was going. Sorry, and I can't go back through all the posts to remind me of what he was saying there. Sorry, I can't. I can only concentrate on one thing at a time. Pathfinder says Tony Mowbray said he would return to football management if you had some square pegs to go in round holes. Then Mowbray's your man. Yeah, but he did all right with Sunderland, didn't he? What a dickhead comment that is. So you are banned for that. I don't need to see that shite in my stream. Thank you very much. Banned. What's Frank Lampard doing? I don't know what he's doing. He'd be all right, wouldn't he? Ted Lasso, great shout indeed. Having 2 boys of my own, there's no way I'd be one of those, Mohammed. Paul Cook from Chesterfield. Paul Cook from Chesterfield. Read the room, RWA. Read the room. Read the room. That is not going to happen. That not in a million years will Blackpool take Ryan Lowe on, especially after he's been so hated by nobbers. It's not going to work. Right, I think that's it for all the comments. I think we've done it. I think we've got lots. Is there more? No, that's it. Yeah, so that's it. I've said all I can say, really. Hope you're as pleased as I am. I think if we'd have carried on with Critch, I think the atmosphere was getting worse and worse and worse. I don't think the football would have attracted, people to walk on and come and watch a match. It's got to be attractive football. Since we've sold so few season tickets this year, we're thousands down. So we need to pull back in thousands of fans to fill those seats. And the only way you're going to fill those seats and bring people back to spend 30 odd pound is to have really good football. And I did say that when like Brett Ormerod was banging goals in for fun before we sold to Southampton, you couldn't get in because everybody wanted to come and see this football. This young lad that he was just putting thousands on seats, and the football was great. So that's what you need. That is what you need, especially with losing so many season tickets. And I think Simon could probably see, just like every one of us could see, that the numbers were just going to keep dropping because nobody's going to come and watch that. If you haven't bought a season ticket and you're not like having to go because you paid for it in advance and you're kind of forced to go because you paid all this money, you're not going to pay 30 odd quid to come and watch that crap. No way. And it was awful. It was really awful. Andy DeWitt says Mike Flying ex-midfielder looking for a job, did well at Newport, young manager, cheap. Well, it fits the model. And if he's a young manager and cheap, hey, Eamon O'Keefe is here. Eamon, wow. Eamon and Mick Conroy could be temporary. Yeah, well, you're very opinionated in the game. I hope you've all watched the match vlog with Eamon in. He did a great job. I'm sure you'd all agree he was fabulous. And there's a great interview with him as well. I hope you've watched your interview. It was great, Eamon. Thanks for all your time. And I'll have a chat with you. You said you had a few names that might want to come and join me as a guest. So, yeah, I'm struggling a bit for a week on Saturday because they've changed the time. So it's got to be somebody who can get there for 12:15. It's an early time and it's an early kickoff. So it's kind of thrown my plans up in the air. But if you know anybody who is free a week on Saturday, like Keegan Parker, if you're still there, if you get to Blackpool for an early kickoff, that's the problem. It's an early kickoff. Callum Coyle wants to be in as manager till the end of the season. Well, you have to send your CV in to Simon Sadler if you want to do that. Yes, I'm afraid. Yes, sorry, mate. It's that you're just like a million miles off. No, honestly, if it was Ryan Lowe, there'd be 6,000 season ticket holders walked out. Complete. Never mind. Yeah, not gone well. When are we going to get him in? When does the transfer window close, and how long has he got? Because Keogh's in charge on Saturday. There's not long to go, is there? Mickey Mellon. Well, he was doing really well at Tranmere, wasn't he? But they sacked him from Tranmere. But yeah, he was doing great. When Tranmere came to play Blackpool, he was brilliant. Right, thanks a lot for joining me. If you are watching this on the rerun, if you couldn't make the live stream, then please comment in the post below, and I will happily answer your opinions on who you want to be the next Blackpool manager. Is there a particular person, or you just want a particular style which is entertaining? Do you want a manager that put square pegs in square holes, rather than, do you want a manager that plays left wingers on the right, inverted, and all that sort of nonsense? Or do you prefer a manager that plays a right winger as a right winger, a left winger as a left winger, left back as a left back, and a right back as a right back? Yeah, transfer window closes at the end of the month, so there is time if we get somebody in. Probably too soon to go for new signings unless they appoint someone in the next day or two. I mean, that's the thing. We are running out of time, and of course, it's whether the new manager has ideas on. He doesn't even know what. A new manager coming in is not even going to know what he's got. until he starts going on the training ground with him. And hopefully he can see that Jordan Gabriel is a great right back, and maybe the next manager may bring Dom Thompson in as a left back, because he's got a lot of pace, and it's something we were sadly lacking on Saturday, was pace throughout the team. Let's hope. Yeah, concourse says, what is it? Let's get to Cambridge on Saturday. 1-1 draw with Lavs and Roads. Okay, right. Thanks a lot, folks. I'm going to get off. I'm going to get some tea. We've done over an hour on this. I think it's great news. I can only see it being a positive, and I hope I'm right. I hope I'm not. I hope in 6 months' time it's not another Mick McCarthy nightmare. Whoever we bring in, I hope we all get behind him, and we all get behind Simon Sadler, because he is pumping money in, and or we get behind the American consortium if they are coming in. It's only a rumor. I have no idea whether there's American consortium. I have no idea. But anyway, sometimes be careful what you wish for. Simon Sadler, has proved, I think, he's proved, a lot of people were saying he would never sack Critch and all that sort of stuff, but he has. He's seen it like a Blackpool fan, and he's got rid, and he's tried something else, and he knows that we needed to change. So thanks a lot for watching. As always, I wasn't expecting this live stream to be so quick after the last one, but it was. But once again, I enjoyed all your company, except for the Tip Mohammed who posted stupid shite on my channel, which just pisses me off, to be honest. Right, I'm going. See you later, everybody. Take care. And come on, the pool. It's going to be great. We're going up. We're going up. We're going to win on Saturday 4-0, says Callum. See you later. Take care. Bye.